And before you can say, I'm going to gouge out your eyes and then shit in your eye sockets, Stanley leaps off the wall, grabs the first mutt that comes at him, pins it to the concrete, gouges out its eyes, and then shits directly into its eye sockets. And then it got ugly.
Hello and welcome to DarkMatch. I am the Penguin Emperor Mega Fighter 3, and with me...
Well, I'm War Machine, and this show took forever to get started.
I'm the Arrow. You know me as the greatest person to ever live, and for some reason I'm stuck with these individuals.
Hey, it would be a privilege for you to be stuck with me because I am Tiphus, and you're all blessed to be around me. But anyway, it's time once again for this week's What's Iron Sheik tweeting. Who the fuck think the Ultimate Warrior has smaller brazen balls and corn dick? Gimme hell yeah!
Yeah, just, man.
I just want to know smaller raisin balls than what?
Corn dick.
Just say lol and let's move on.
Yeah. Alright, this week tonight we're doing this week's episode of Raw and SmackDown.
And NXT and Superstars.
What?
No.
So shut up, Arrow. That's your job.
Yeah, I started watching NXT 2 weeks ago, and then I stopped watching again.
Supposedly they're going to start a new season of that pretty soon.
Yeah, they've been saying that for like a month and a half now.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember. Jeez. It's going on over 30 weeks of NXT.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. I think
Darren
they're
Young
just waiting to
has
start the new
qualified.
season with their new network.
That's going to be a while.
Yeah. Well.
Those show suggestions, though, or those potential shows, some of them, honestly, have so much potential that I would want to watch them.
And some of them just look like... You know what I really don't want to see is a lot of their shows a lot of the reality shows start to do crossover into the main product, like their fucking Road Crew Trucker show. I don't want to see that
Steve Austin drinking show.
I don't want to see
Steve Austin drinking show. I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I want to see anything involving Foley on that list.
But I'm just saying they've got a show concept that's like Ice Road Truckers, except it follows their road crew. I'm sorry, but you're talking about road crews going from city to city in continental U.S. It's going to be the same fucking shit every episode.
No, because you know why? You could say that about shit like Pawn Stars and American Pickers, but they find a way.
Yeah,
You know, I noticed something right now. We are getting startlingly off topic.
We are.
It's we're talking about WWE. I don't think it's off topic.
You know what, though? You know what, Arrow? I got another show concept that I want to get off the ground here. We'll save this topic for that one, because it fits that one. So,
Okay.
I cordially invite you to be one of the first guests on that show. But, look for that one coming soon. Anyway, Raw from today.
Raw is live on tape from Liverpool, and, yeah. So Cena walks out to the ring to a mixed reaction, as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
And so John starts talking about the reaction he gets from the crowd, and he's thanking people and stuff like that. And he starts talking about WrestleMania, and he plugs ticket sales. And then apparently, this was news to me because while I had my back turned, The Rock came back. So he brings up the fact that The Rock couldn't make it, and it panned out to the crowd right when he said that, and there was a really funny sign in the crowd. It was this little kid holding up a sign that said, at WrestleMania, John Cena versus The Rock via satellite.
He's just cranky because there's too many whinies.
It's cute, a little smart.
Apparently The Rock is going to be Cena's tag team partner at Survivor Series.
Yep.
Not because The Rock wants it, not because Cena wants it, but because the people want it.
Twitter followers, not even the people.
And
PR, that Rock.
And big news that no one really cares about, The Rock is going to be back on Raw this Monday. So, yeah, there you go.
Woohoo!
A lot of
3 hours.
And then out walk Miz and R-Truth. And they start talking trash to Cena.
Of course.
And does someone else want to take this?
No.
Okay. So Cena brings up the fact that his partner is a future Hall of Famer, which really
Doesn't
was...
really mean much, because...
Doesn't mean much, but...
I think he was talking about his partner for tonight.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean much, but I ignored it.
He called them
And
the
You
10th wonder
look
of the world.
at all the present company in there, and yeah, they're all future Hall of Famers.
Yeah, basically.
He called them the 10th wonder of the world, though, so there's something.
So, Miz and R-Truth start throwing out some reallys, and they say that, well, you clearly aren't tag teaming with future Hall of Famer because you aren't tag teaming with me, the me being Miz, or R-Truth tonight. And so they attack Cena, or whatever, and then out runs fucking Zack Ryder. Wait, what?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was just like, "What? Hold on a sec. You mean Zack Ryder's your tag team partner? That's kind of cool."
He was robbed after last week, and Cena's just like, God damn, this man.
Well,
is
last
in
2 weeks,
shape."
but you're right.
But yeah, that's basically what happened in the opening. Nothing too spectacular. Your standard opening Cena promo, followed by run-in. I don't know. I mean, when I was watching it today, I didn't really care. It could have not been there, and nothing would have changed about the show. Wow, nobody's got anything else to say?
Yeah,
I'm glad to see Zack Ryder in the main event, but
Really down in WWE right now.
Well, Dolph and Vicky are walking backstage, then cut to commercial. Back from commercial, it's Dolph Ziggler versus John Morrison.
Yep.
Who gives a fuck? No one gives a fuck. That's it.
Actually, this is actually
Ziggler.
important to note. Jomo did not job this match.
That's
Yeah.
not the only info. That's about the miraculous only thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd he manage to pull that off? Who'd he blow backstage in order to get
I'm
that?
guessing
by
he
John-
finally broke it off with Melina.
Yeah, according to Z True Long Island story.
or that he started supplying the steady stream of blowjobs that she is no longer there to provide.
Yeah, but John Morrison wins with the
He wins with a schoolboy.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
every single WWE match.
I hate roll-ups. Let's move on.
What about those are good.
We cut to commercial, and we come back, and then they start talking about the 10-man Survivor Series match, and the captains are Randy Orton and Wade Barrett. Why?
Initially announced on WWE.com. It's because apparently that street fight that Orton just had to win on SmackDown 2 SmackDowns ago now, from when this is being recorded. So what would that be? The SmackDown from October the 28th, when it aired, when they had that street fight, which was a fantastic match that opened the show. Apparently that was the blow-off, which I feel a street fight is appropriate, but, you know, you couldn't have saved that for a pay-per-view match. I mean, even if you give it away on free TV, why does Randy have to win?
Because Randy Orton's badass.
It doesn't matter if he's a badass. He's always going to be over. And when you just keep supplying the people with, oh, this guy wins every single fucking time. And Cena, what was it, this week, he lost. He didn't even give a fuck. He smiled after he lost. He just shrugged his shoulders, said, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't view Cena in the same way that they view Orton. Or at least not.
Well, they're different characters, obviously. Orton is a sociopath, or schizophrenic.
Who's somehow a face.
Yes.
Orton is Wolverine to Cena's Captain America.
Yeah.
Sure,
Actually, that's now Orton suddenly makes a lot of sense.
yes.
Except, you know, Orton's not Canadian. And he doesn't have an animanium skeleton, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, because he has a lot of shoulder injuries. Anyway, all I'm saying is, Cena and Orton...
That's what happens when you punch canvas all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, Cena and Orton, they're the two top faces. They can afford to lose. They're not going to, like, be seen by fans as any worse. if Cena loses 5 matches in a row, do you think he'd be in any other place than he'd be in right now?
In fact, if Cena were to lose, people would probably look more highly on him than they usually do.
Depending on the matches. If the
True.
matches suck.
Yeah, if the match sucks, then...
That's my only point here. We can move on now.
Yeah.
And
John
move on to an actual job match.
Woohoo.
Yeah, but before that, we get a video package for Baby Tista. And quick question, why is he face?
Because they're trying to do the Dave Bautista thing with him.
Ugh.
After he leaves a group.
Okay, Mason
Bautista.
Ryan versus JTG. Guess who wins?
JTG, a lot of people were just surprised in the arena that he still had a job. Because he has not been on TV for as long as NXT Season 3 has been going on, to be honest.
He's like the Jay Lethal of WWE.
Yeah, when I saw him, I thought he was someone else at first. I wasn't quite sure, and then I realized, oh, that's JTG. I suddenly want to change the channel.
What's sad is that Mason Ryan is from the UK, and they didn't even give a fuck about him.
Yeah.
But they love them some William Regal.
Then again, Mason Ryan isn't in the United Kingdom stable in WWE 12, so...
He isn't?
How? He's Welsh.
I know, right? I mean, that would complete the circle.
There's 4 of them, right? There's
Sheamus,
Sheamus,
Drew McIntyre, William Regal, and Wade Barrett.
Oh, Wade, yeah. I wasn't sure if they were going to put William in there.
Well, they did.
Probably because Mason Ryan's overall is 75.
Yeah.
You bring the average of the group down.
So, media rush for WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. Backstage, Zack Ryder and the Bellas are exchanging promos. And
that's just I'm in the main event.
And the Ryder gets the Bellas to join him in woo woo woo, and then they leave. Cut to commercial.
They make jokes about because the week before this on Raw, he got attacked from behind, and it's like, look out behind you, Zack. And he's like, oh no, I don't want to get jumped again.
Are they trying to put the Bellas over by sticking them to Zack Ryder?
No, the Bellas are just the random chicks that need to be around for when they need somebody to be around.
Because I don't know if WWE's noticed, but whenever Zack Ryder puts someone on his YouTube show, they don't exactly get over very well.
Well, Regal's totally over.
Let's think about it. We haven't heard from Primo until SmackDown.
So he's getting these shots.
Hey, fucking spoiler alert, man.
It's not really a spoiler if it already happened.
Yeah, spoiler for something people have probably already watched.
Yeah.
But
I already told you spoiled the main event if you want to get that back.
Kurt Hawkins is pretty much vanished too, and John Morrison, it took a while to get him back. He's been on a job streak until now.
But that was unrelated.
Oh, true.
And
anyways,
Big O's going to get signed, and he's going to get a mega push.
That's why I think they're really pushing Mason Ryan as a face. It's because he's there to be the Big O because they don't have the Big O. That's my theory.
Big O's greener than Mason Ryan.
Yeah.
Feel my point.
Back, and Michael Cole is informing us that whatever the Michael Cole challenge isn't happening, and it'll happen to Boston. And then we cut to a recap of how CM Punk got his rematch, got his match against Del Rio, and then it was pretty badass, I gotta say.
Yeah.
That's definitely an effective way to get a rematch or a match. I don't know why I keep saying rematch.
Oh no, it's a rematch, technically, because it's a rematch for what happened when you got screwed out of the title.
Well, I think this is honestly just stupid. They just need a title match. So they're like, well, Punk, you don't have a program. Go out there and do this thing that we just haphazardly thought up.
Yeah.
Because we're doing stupid storylines where every time somebody attacks someone, they get a title shot.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I think is incredibly stupid because it shows that they're rewarding going outside the rules which is not what GMs are supposed to do.
Yeah, but when have GMs necessarily followed?
Laurinaitis said that Alberto Del Rio
I
had
know
to
what
say
Laurinaitis
yes.
said, but my point is that Teddy Long did the same thing, except for when Big Show got his first match against Henry for the title. What I would have done is I would not have awarded him the match because he didn't deserve it, like Mark Henry said. But Big Show went out there and beat the shit out of Mark Henry, gave him like a knockout punch, chokeslammed him through a table, and then he was about to chokeslam him through a table. Teddy Long comes out and says, Big Show, if you do that plan, you're not going to get a match for the title. And then he didn't do it, and he got his stupid match. He still beat the shit out of the champion, helpless, or not necessarily helpless, but an basically unsuspecting victim. And that's just not really a face tactic.
Yeah, an unsuspecting, massive mammoth of a Mark Henry.
Yeah, I don't really want to argue the whole, well, whatever face tactics, because you can get into all sorts of little semantical, just stupid details. But if the champion if a guy's just standing out there and then the face just goes off and attacks him because he's angry, like, that's one thing. What the face should want to do is, like, I want to settle this the right way, in the ring.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's just what makes sense.
Admittedly, with Punk, you can kind of argue that at least he's a tweener. Punk's never really been... Punk's not a 100% pure face.
And Punk basically buried Del Rio. He caught him so off guard because Punk's promos are unscripted because he'll quit if they aren't.
Anyway, we actually... Yeah, it's Del Rio versus Kingston next. And...
Yeah, do we really have to talk about this match? These guys always do well together. I don't think I've seen them put on a bad match.
I think this might have been one of the worst cross arm breakers ever applied.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know how, really. I figured, like, Del Rio pretty much has the float over down, and Kofi's a pretty agile guy.
Yeah, there was no excuse for this being bland as it was. I just have no interest in Kofi, to be honest. I know that makes me the abnormal one of the group, but...
I don't know. He's a good wrestler, but he doesn't really have much in terms of a personality right at this point.
Yeah.
Well, ever since he had to drop his Jamaican character...
Yeah, that's the thing.
That was his character. He was Jamaican.
Yeah.
And he dropped it because his mom didn't like him being portrayed as a racial stereotype. Even though he keeps the theme, and the tights, and the dreads.
And the last name.
Yeah. But
isn't that his last name in real life?
I doubt it.
Should we
Yeah, whatever. And I don't know if it was the right thing to make a champion. Granted, Alberto is the singles champion, and you could view Kofi as a tag team specialist, whatever that means. That they always try and put over. I don't know if it was a good idea to have him be beaten this easily. Maybe the match could have given 2 more minutes or something. Yeah. But, it was fine for the members. I had no problem with it necessarily.
After the match, I forget, how did this set up to bring out Punk, or did Punk just walk out? Because I forgot.
I think Del Rio reapplies the cross arm breaker.
Yeah.
And then,
Punk comes out for the save. Yeah, and Punk was the most over guy in Liverpool, followed by Zack Ryder of all people.
Yeah.
I know a guy who was actually at the show, and they were confiscating signs and stuff like that.
Right. I was wondering why you said of all people. I forgot. They confiscated Ryder equals rating signs.
No, well, I think they stopped doing that because now he's on TV. But they started. They tried to confiscate signs, but apparently the people threatened to leave altogether, and they let them keep their signs.
Right.
Also, there was a guy this guy had floor seats that I know on another forum, and he was sitting next to the guy who was dressed like La Parka. I think on the SmackDown broadcast. Maybe it was actually it was the Raw one.
We basically get a bit of back and forth between Punk and Del Rio.
Punk really caught Del Rio off guard, and it was blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
I think
it's kind of why we love Punk.
But it takes away from the match when he does it every time, though. It does. I'm not gonna lie.
Just doing it too much, yeah.
He took away of the back and forth.
I didn't really care for this part all that much. I mean, I was, Punk talked about Del Rio being one note and kind of boring. I found that kind of funny because I was really bored by this segment. I didn't really find it because it felt to me like a generic face, I'm going to beat you promo, except with a CM Punk spin on it. It felt like CM Punk doing an imitation of CM Punk.
So basically, CM Punk was half-assing it.
I wouldn't say half-assing, but I don't really know how to describe it. I just didn't care for the segment.
It was bad, in my opinion. I mean, not to get me wrong, I like Punk, but the fact is, he's not perfect, and that should be obvious, and you should be able to be objective. He buried the title in here, and he buried the champion. It's fine. I guess it's acceptable to bury a heel champion, but to say that people tune away, and for some reason he said on DVR of all things.
That's a bit problematic.
I mean, that's just as bad as when he said they changed the channel. But I mean, granted, didn't he say that to Kevin Nash? So I mean, that doesn't really matter. But I mean, saying that people change the channel on your programming, it's a bad idea. Even mentioning changing the channel is bad. I mean, look what it did for WCW when Foley won the title for the first time.
Oh, you're actually
something
encouraging
800,000 people switched over.
Plus, you don't really want to bury. You don't want the face to be burying the title or the champion.
Exactly. Why do you want this title if it's worthless?
Yeah, it's the heel who should be bearing the title, and it should be done so that he gets to come up.
He said he wants the title because he wants to make it worth something again. So I guess that's a reason why. But it just seems
you have to hold the title and defend it to say it's worth something. I mean, Punk has never. No, he successfully defended it once. And then he got his ass kicked. Granted, it was after a long, grueling match, whatever.
And after he was powerbombed by Kevin Nash.
Fuck Kevin Nash! Fucking hate Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hate this Raw then.
Yeah. Get Kevin Nash off the fucking TV. I'm sorry.
So Ricardo gets to go to sleep after Del Rio escapes. I honestly felt bad for Ricardo, but whatever.
And then just needs to get all the shit these days.
And then we get a recap of the Muppets showing up on Raw last week, which I'm kind of sad that I missed.
Yeah, it was awesome. Sheamus and Beaker are related, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that part because I watched the show.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy some of the Muppet segments. I did. But the fact is, with wrestling, you're trying to within the work, you're trying to say everything that happens on the TV is real. Everyone knows the Muppets are not real; they are puppets. Why are the people saying, "Oh, I'm related"? Why are they? I don't know. The Muppets.
It's just the Muppets, dude. They kind of transcend everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not really gonna. I mean, I know yes, I am complaining about it, but it's like a minor gripe. It's like something I can pass.
It's at best a nitpick.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Big Show saying he was Pee-wee's cousin.
Yeah, that was or when they were doing the MacGruber tie-in where they had Khali come out as Kaluber, but then again, it's great fucking Khali and nobody gives a shit about him.
And the time MacGruber blew up R-Truth for Farm.
Yeah, that was the best because I hated R-Truth back then.
Yeah.
But what else? There's one thing I want. Oh yeah, the thing I loved especially about the Raw or the Muppets on Raw was just Swagger saying "Waka Waka."
Yeah, that was fun.
Before I get a ham sandwich, Waka Waka. It's just coming out of fucking Swagger's mouth. Anything can sound.
So, next match, Swagger versus Morella.
Yeah, rematch.
Guess what? Swagger wins. Let's move on.
Yeah.
La, Swagger wins.
Even booking.
So,
oh god, this next part.
We cut to the back, and Kelly is walking towards the ring in like a tight dress, and Jerry goes, "We're going to see Kelly like we've never seen her before."
With actual ring talent?
Hey, she's trying.
Airbrushed to hell?
She's trying. So at first, I thought to myself, Playboy, please God, Playboy.
You're not going to get Playboy.
But alas, I was let down. So she starts cutting this emotional promo, and blah, 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 5 years ago, started here, kid, generic. Then Beth and Natalia come out, and I wanted to stab myself in the forehead.
Yeah.
I hate this angle so much.
I want to hear why you hate it, because I hate it probably for different reasons.
I hate it because it is essentially just one big long, like, I have never...
Woe is me, I'm so gorgeous.
That, and they're just shitting all over Beth and Natalia every time. Have they ever won a single match in this entire feud thing?
That's the Divas champion.
Yeah, but they're still, like, outnumbered 3-2.
Yeah, but they weren't outnumbered until, like, 2 weeks ago. It was even.
But
so really, the faces are using heel tactics here. The numbers game. That pack of dogs mentality.
Yeah.
It's basically proving the heel's right. They have to fucking come out there in mass just to beat the two of them up.
My problem with this is they basically just, they've lost their edge by just this whole, we want to make you cry.
Okay, fair enough.
What is this about crying? No, before it was about proving you were better, before it was about, you know, being a better worker, but then I think WWE realized that we're actually telling the people who aren't smart enough to notice that Kelly and people like Alicia Fox aren't all that talented compared to Beth Phoenix and Natalia, so they're like, well, shit, we've got to change this angle.
So yeah, it's basically like they realize, you know, the heels are kind of right. Maybe we should change it so that they're more vicious.
Blatantly fucking right.
Yeah.
So, Torres
hired some women that know how to wrestle. I mean, Jesus Christ. What's so hard about...
Why would they want to do a thing like that?
Yeah, Eve Torres and Alicia Fox come out and chase Natalia and Beth away. And then they pull down... I guess I forgot to say this. The entire time they had this, like, poster board thing covered in a red sheet. Yeah. Red sheet, yeah. And it's for a magazine cover for Maxim.
Yeah.
How is that not seeing Kelly in a way we've never seen her before?
All right, get a swimsuit catalog.
Because she's sitting on a car and shit.
Guys. I know it's been pointed out by some other people, but basically, on the cover of this magazine, she's wearing pretty much the same amount of clothing she wears to the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've sat through Extreme Expose, and I've sat through her stupid exhibitionist gimmick. I have watched every single one of her terrible, terrible matches. And I'm open-minded enough to admit that she has had some moderately decent to mediocre ones in between them. But it doesn't change the fact that most of them are terrible. I have seen her plenty of times with less clothing than what she has on the Maxim catalog. Really? Do you think that I'm an idiot or something?
Yes,
do you think that...
do.
You do realize that most of the people in the audience, other than the 8 to 10-year-olds, have been watching this since at least 2004. They've probably seen her in way different lights, way different times.
And there were people in the audience fucking bowing to this.
Honestly, those could have been recycled, because WWE has been known to use old footage.
I know, but it's...
Granted, I think those were people in CM Punk shirts of all things. And I'll be damned if there wasn't, like, every single person in that arena was not wearing one.
I just... Fuck it. I'm done talking about this.
And they follow up this dumb fuckery with more dumb fuckery.
Well, hold the phone. Let me just go back to this 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. On the cover, ignoring Kelly, on this PG show, the other highlighted articles, the reasons that you want to buy this magazine, other than the Kelly photo shoot, and because of the interesting article about Rafiki doing the stink face, you've got how to become a sex Santa right there, on a PG show, which they can't even talk about. They can't even really, they can barely hint at it. And the closest they've done to it, I mean, on TV is the Oksana angle with Teddy right now. But they went even farther on NXT this week. But it's fucking TV. And I just
seriously, welcome to Tori Wilson's dad all over again, for fuck's sake.
Oh.
I've seen Teddy Long get romantically involved with someone he's working with. I'm
Maybe this time he'll have another heart attack.
I'm really fucking tired.
Hold on, player.
So,
it's a game.
It's time for a tag team match.
Laurinaitis comes out.
There was stuff before that. No.
Laurinaitis comes.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I just want to say tag team match because of fucking Teddy Long. It had nothing to do with the actual show.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought you guys
Sorry
were
about the
skipping out.
confusion, yeah.
No.
Laurinaitis comes out, and I suddenly feel the urge to hang myself. He talks about titles and shit. I don't care. And then out walks Kevin Nash. You know, at first, I thought that Kevin Nash wasn't going to be around for long. I thought he was going to be around for that brief thing they did at SummerSlam, and then that was going to be it.
No.
But now it seems like he's going to stick around for a lot longer, and he's going to be feuding with Triple H. And, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. No, sir, I don't like it.
And there are only
Mr. Horse.
For the most part, there are only two things notable about this speech. One is he mentions how he said Triple H denied the idea of reforming the Clique. But seriously, Nash, pay attention here. Michaels is retired. Scott Hall is a recovering alcoholic. X-Pac's X-Pac. Ric Flair's in TNA. And you're the man of a
X-Pac is
thousand
doing well
quad
for
hairs.
himself in an indie league.
What? Oh, yeah.
I was filling in the lack of information on X-Pac, saying that X-Pac is doing well for himself on an indie league.
Oh yeah, but
is he officially part of anything?
But Ric Flair's in TNA.
No, I think he's just. I think X-Pac is just going around to wherever we'll take him, and he'll put on awesome matches and then leave.
And
Arrive.
Kevin Nash is the man of 1,000 quad tears.
Yeah. And there's just incredible. And Ric Flair's not in the Clique. No matter what.
No,
he says.
he's in the Clique.
And the way Kevin Nash put this was he used the TNA version of the Clique. I told Hunter we should get the band back together. I mean, I know that's a general term for like getting your group back together, but when you went by actually the band at one point,
it was
kind of a poor turn of phrase.
Yeah.
The only other notable thing about this was the idea that Kevin Nash takes advantage of children.
What?
He said, I remember the line he said. He said that
He said, I took you in like a
lying
scared
there like
child, and I took advantage of you.
Yeah. So yeah.
I should have buried you the second I saw you, but Sean was watching on the monitor, and he said he liked you and you were cool. But now, after 20 or some odd years, I've decided, Hunter, you weren't cool. So I hit you in the head with your own sledgehammer. And I texted myself.
So, Pedo Nash.
Creeper Nash.
Okay.
It was a message from my latest acquisition, Kevin Nash, and I'm John Laurinaitis, Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, and the interim Raw GM.
Yep.
Kevin Nash tells Triple H that he showed him how to play the game. Promo's over. Nash leaves. We get a Brodus Clay video package, and someone says he's going to be making his return to Raw.
Oh, he was actually never supposed to. He was never on Raw, was he? He was always a SmackDown guy. And I thought, as much as I wanted to actually see him debut on Raw, I guess re-debut to WWE in general, other than Superstars, but re-debut on Raw, I would have liked to see that. They're saving it for next week because I'm guessing they ran out of time due to changes. I thought obviously you thought of real quick reason of John Laurinaitis saying that Brodus Clay's not debuting after Otunga mentions him. He's supposed to debut this week. John Laurinaitis says, I'm not going to debut him in Liverpool because he's too special for these people.
Oh, he's too special for England, huh?
Yes, I thought that was a good reason. That was a good way to get both of them heat. And I thought that worked. I mean, yes, it's cheap heat, but I thought it was a more creative way than saying, not in front of these losers in Liverpool.
All right, let's move forward.
Yeah.
Otunga's backstage. No one gives a crap. Miz and R-Truth versus John Cena and Zack Ryder.
You forgot about the Punk beating up, or getting beat up by Del Rio.
No one cares.
Oh, okay. Agreed.
I didn't like this match.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it seemed like they lured me in with the false promise of Zack Ryder getting to be awesome and getting the win, only to have Miz and R-Truth pull one out and take it.
That's not to say that Zack Ryder wasn't awesome during this match. He didn't get the win, but he was still awesome.
Well, yeah, but is this how they think they're appeasing us? Hey, we show you the guy you like, but guess what? He lost. I mean,
He lost by shenanigans, though, so...
Well, yeah, but still, I don't know if that's worse or better than just getting pinned.
It wasn't even him that got pinned. We've seen that.
Both are still incredibly annoying.
You know what? I do kind of like this the setup they have, just thematically speaking, because first of all, you got the faces. You got a tag team of the guy who's most beloved with the marks, guy who's most beloved with the marks. Put them together, you pretty much got 99% of the audience on their side as a whole. On the other side, you got the heels, who both have a reason for wanting to go after one on each side. Miz has his whole rivalry with Cena, and R-Truth does not like Zack Ryder at all.
When was this established?
Yeah, I don't
Lost.
I don't recall this happening.
I've got to say, that is some Matt Stryker level of bullshit right there. Bravo, sir.
You've achieved it.
What?
I don't
see things where they don't exist, so what?
Yeah. You want to know what else that's called? Being insane. Let's move on. Miz and R-Truth win, cuts credits. Let's move to SmackDown. Oh, I guess we have to have closing comments on Raw. It sucked.
It was okay. I liked it.
I didn't like Raw. I felt like my time was being wasted. And, it's one thing to have just and I don't even, every second I felt like I could not be watching this, and I'd be so happy right now. But I just felt my energy being zapped out of me. It was just like I was growing older every minute I was watching this show. I think I have a few gray hairs now because of it.
I agree. This was fairly dumb, and I'll tell you why. 2 weeks ago, Cena beat Miz and R-Truth single-handedly.
That was a week ago, actually.
Whatever. By the time we're recording, it's basically, 12 days?
Yeah, okay.
Rounding up, that's 2 weeks.
You know what? Whatever.
Anyway,
Point
two
is,
Raws ago, beat them single-handedly. He wanted Zack Ryder. Didn't get Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder never ran out, never happened. But he still beat them single-handedly. And granted, it was by DQ. Why did they even need to do it by DQ? Firstly, why did the heels even have to go for a DQ? They had the upper hand. They could have just done the Little Jimmy's finale. And two, this week, they screwed up the finish, and I'm pretty sure R-Truth has a serious concussion after taking a horrible bump out of the ring where he smashed the back of his head.
Yeah, that
And he was
didn't
just out of the match for an extended period of time.
that didn't look healthy, I gotta say.
And then he screwed the finish. I don't blame him for screwing the finish, which they had to do again. But I mean, because of what happened before this, I don't blame him for screwing it up. But nevertheless, it still happened. And then after the match, Cena loses to the guys that are he's gonna face with The Rock at SummerSlam, and they use some trickery, some chicanery, and he's just like, oh well, no big deal.
Yeah, we complained about this the last time we did a week in review for Raw, for WWE. Like, what's the point of having The Rock now if he can handle them both?
Well, exactly. That point still stands. I mean, because nothing was really accomplished other than, yeah, they beat him, yeah, they cheated. Who cares? Because that's what they're supposed to do.
In terms of overall storyline, it's not exactly helping. In terms of being entertaining, sure, I guess you could find the idea of...
My point is that I don't care about Miz and Truth right now. They're not a threat to anyone.
Yeah, I can see
They're
that.
not a threat. They're Cena and Rock are the only thing that is prevalent in the match at Survivor Series. The people that they're facing against, they could be anyone. It doesn't matter who they're facing.
Basically, everyone wants to see if The Rock is going to betray Cena or if Cena's going to betray The Rock. Which, if anything's going to happen, it's going to be Rock betraying Cena.
Because Cena's the face.
Yeah. Or because WWE's too chicken shit to have him betray The Rock, even though he's just going to be the heel in the match by default anyways, because no one's going to boo The Rock.
Well, my guess is that they're just going to have some sort of confusion where, like, Rock will be, or, like, Cena will be on the apron, he'll be trying to get the crowd involved, and then, Miz or Truth will be going to attack Cena for a cheap shot when he's, like, turning around the crowd, and then Rock will, he'll be trying to protect Cena, just because he's like, we're on a team, we gotta do this. But, instead, Miz or Truth ducks out of the way, hits Cena, and Cena's like, oh, that's what you want to play it. And then he's like, you motherfucker, but PG. And then,
pretty much. I can see that happening.
That's the way
Mr. Falcon.
It doesn't matter if it's predictable. It matters if it's done right. And that's the right way to do it. One of the few right ways to do it.
Yeah, I'd agree. But I think we're done talking about Raw. Let's talk about SmackDown.
Now, you want to talk something that was meh? This was for me. I was not really. Nothing held my interest for this SmackDown.
No.
It was a fine show, but it was very bland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could say that about any SmackDown episode.
It was competent, is what it was.
2 weeks ago was. A week ago was good. 2 weeks ago was really good.
Yeah.
I thought they've all been really good. This one was just not as good. That's
the best I could say was that it was competent, and that's it.
I have no complaints about it.
I didn't really have any problems with it either. Randy walks to the ring, and they show footage of the street fight.
Mm-hmm.
At least he put it over.
He basically talked about how Orton's a one-man team, and he doesn't play well with others, and blah, blah, blah.
And he doesn't take orders from anyone, so he
Yeah.
might as well be the leader anyway.
Yeah, basically. It's your, like, I love Orton, and, I don't really... I don't get some people's complaints about him, but I do understand one thing. His promos are some,
the most boring shit.
You could copy and paste every single promo he's ever had, and just...
During the current gimmick.
Yeah.
Selecting killer.
And, it's pretty much the same thing over and over and over again.
Well,
and
that's my complaint with him. I think he's one of the most competent workers, and I think ever since he's calmed down, doing his, basically taking advantage of what he was doing backstage.
Yeah.
And the DVD, the Orton DVD, which I had, who would actually want to watch this? I watched it. It was pretty good. I actually found myself enjoying learning about Randy Orton, of all people, which I had little to no interest in before this. And I recognize that he is a really good worker, and he deserves the praise he gets, but I don't think I think he needs just a different character, but I don't know how you can really transition out. Oh, yeah, one day I just stopped hearing the voices.
Yeah.
one day I stopped being a sociopath.
I just woke up one day and I decided...
Maybe have him lose a
wrong.
match. Maybe have him lose a match and just, like, disappear from TV for a while and then have him come
That'll
back.
never happen. Never
I
happen.
know. I'm
Have
being
him
very
come back
hypothetical
like
here,
Love.
but, like, have him lose a match and just go to, like, a mental hospital for a
Go to
while.
rehab.
Go
It's in the
Rehab.
asylum.
Yeah, an asylum. That's what I mean. But
So he starts running down the laundry list of people he's going up against. He said he doesn't mind beating up Cody Rhodes. He doesn't have a problem sticking his foot in Christian's mouth or something like that. He said he doesn't know Swagger or Hunico at all, but they got in his way, so now they're about to get caps busted in their asses. And he starts to say something about Barrett, and then Barrett comes out, and I feel like I've been talking a lot. Someone take this.
Well, Barrett just noticed that he didn't say anything nasty about him.
That's really what it sounds like.
I'm a natural born leader. You're not.
I
I'm
led
British.
2 groups to mild success.
I wouldn't even... No. The core wasn't even a mild success.
Okay, no, the core produced 2 first-time Intercontinental Champions, and it produced a long reign of tag team champions.
I guess.
Heath Slater.
Granted, belts mean nothing.
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater is
Yeah,
a moron.
Heath Slater, your argument is invalid.
I hate you, Heath Slater. I hate you.
You've invalidated everything I've accomplished in the WWE, Heath Slater.
You are the antithesis of humanity.
I don't
Smoke
remember-
that
I don't remember
synthetic
who told me
pot
this.
bullshit.
I don't remember who told me this, but there was an interview in, I think, WWE Magazine. Someone asked Wade Barrett about Heath Slater, and he said, I consider myself a very intelligent man, and Heath Slater is like the dumbest person I've ever met in my life, or something like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was just like, that's awesome. Even if
I was like,
even
thank you.
that may
Wade.
be in kayfabe, but that's still awesome.
No, it's not kayfabe because
not.
he doesn't. I mean, he didn't have to say that. He could have put Slater over. I mean, out when they're in the ring, he doesn't act like that. And plus he even says so on Twitter. He's just like when just after they kicked Zeke out of the core and and Slater switched from trunks to tights, he's just like, if Heath Slater does not shut up about his new tights, we're gonna have to start giving him the old Zeke treatment.
Yeah.
Heath Slater. Heath Slater, quit sending me that picture of you drawn like a girl and tell me what your hotel room number is.
Barrett basically gives like the "I've been a leader always" promo, and fans start chanting RKO.
Yeah.
And Barrett says that something called the Barrett Barrage has
You haven't been watching.
Are you listening to me?
SmackDown,
It's
and
the Great Barrett Uprising, damn it!
Yeah.
and I seriously suggest that he never uses that term ever again, because
The problem here is they haven't settled on a term. If they just want to go with the Great Barrett Uprising, which they should,
It
sounds
was
a lot
good when
better.
it was the Barrett Uprising, because that
Well, they
made it
switch
sound
back
like
and forth, and that's the problem.
Like,
Okay, Barrett
Barrett
Barrage.
Uprising actually sounds like that he's going to take down the WWE or something. The Barrett Barrage just sounds like an all-out attack, which doesn't really sound very intelligent.
I think the Uprising is better because, he was at a high point once, and then he kind of got, forgotten about and thrown down on the card.
Yes.
And now he's coming back up!
so Barrett finishes talking, and he asks Orton if he's listening to him, and Orton goes, "No, I'm just thinking about how high your head is going to bounce off the ground when I RKO you."
That was a good
And I
one,
was just,
to be honest.
Uh,
I like that.
No,
yeah, I was just like, that was pretty. I was like, that was pretty badass. And then out walks Christian. Fuck.
Look at all,
And he has a neck brace. His neck brace is on, and from what I understand, he got that after a choke slam from the Big Show.
yep.
Yeah.
That's
Just
a,
made him
Problem
fish face.
is, it's one of those really old neck braces.
it's a soft brace.
Yeah.
And Randy, no, not Randy. Christian says that Randy's going to be the Yoko Ono of this team, and I don't even know what that means.
It's a reference to the
Wow,
Beatles.
you're young.
No, I know who Yoko Ono is, and I know that, but I don't understand how that applies to Orton.
She broke up the Beatles, brother.
Yeah, she made
Well, yeah, but
Technically she didn't, but
how is
you know what?
how is Randy going to break up his own team?
Because
He's
he's the
saying-
leader, but he's not a leader.
Yeah, he's essentially saying that he's going to be the reason their team can't get along and work together.
And they were in England.
Yeah.
I guess.
If he wanted to be more topical, he would have mentioned Oasis breaking up.
Oh God, let's
To my
not.
wonder wall.
Shut
That was
the
like in
fuck
the
up.
early 90s. At least pick something more recent.
Christian talks, and then Orton punches him.
Song comes out. Yeah.
Sheamus,
Oh.
and then Barrett begins attacking Orton, and then Sheamus runs out and starts running at Christian. Orton throws Barrett to the floor, and Christian leaves the ring before Sheamus gets to him. Teddy comes out and says that Christian will be facing Sheamus tonight because he seems fine even with the neck brace on.
He was cleared to compete.
I guess.
By Teddy Long.
Yeah, by Teddy Long, which is some
Medical
medical
professional.
clearance.
He has magic. He has his general manager magic.
God, please.
That cures all wounds.
Sheamus versus Christian. Guess who wins?
Christian?
Shut up. Sheamus does.
That's you just being ignorant.
Yeah. This match was okay, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, but it's a match I've seen like 4 times.
yeah, but I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't
4
really.
times in like the last 2 months. It's just like when they did that Orton Christian program for like 5 months. Sure, they're great matches, but after the 4th time, I'm thinking,
Can we
time
see
to move
something,
on here.
please?
I'm done with this shit.
It's not like with Ziggler and Ryder where you're generally going to be excited for the next time they face off. This is just getting boring now.
Well, no, the
Ziggler-
difference about those matches are Ziggler and Ryder's matches can last anywhere from 4 minutes to 15 minutes. There's varying circumstances. Plus, Ziggler always comes out with a Vicky and sometimes Swagger. Orton comes out with no one now, and neither does Christian. So there's no fuck finishes they can do there
There's
other than
no
just
variation.
regular disqualification.
There's absolutely no variation.
Exactly. I mean, they varied the first, like, they changed things up when they repeated spots, like when Christian always goes for that sunset flip powerbomb that he does off the turnbuckle. They did that, but the thing, he faked it on, like, their second meeting, and they're like, oh, Scott, I'm like, fucking brilliant. Then they did it over again, and again, and again, and again.
So it's like,
And that's the point where I say,
you have to have this.
exactly, that's the point where I say, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
A nice reference there, by the way.
Very well placed, sir.
Yeah.
Good job.
We go to commercial. We come back and we get a recap of Big Show beating up on Mark Henry.
Yep. And then, and then you have Daniel Bryan backstage with Caitlyn and AJ. They're talking about how
It's a bunch of nerds, man. A bunch of
Yeah,
nerds who don't
Bunch
own
of
TVs.
fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds,
Mhm.
god damn them.
So Daniel Bryan is talking with AJ and Caitlyn. And Caitlyn goes,
oh,
"Were you
by the way,
moved
War Machine.
last week?" And he's all like, "No." And then AJ's all like, "Oh, well, when you do cash in, good luck. And and you'll be a cool
Calling him out
world."
for being like a liar or something like that. And he's like, well, my head wasn't really in the right place. I mean, I had just gotten beat up by Mark Henry and tossed out of the ring. So really, that whole main event last week made Big Show come off like a dick.
Yeah. It really
Because
just...
By the way,
Yeah.
Go in there, cash in your briefcase. Either you're gonna lose, or either you're going to win, and I get to face an easy opponent because you're about a third of the size of me, or you lose your briefcase so you can't fuck me over in my next main event.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking too. It's like, why is he not pissed at the Big Show for that?
Because Big Show's a face, and he can't.
I know.
And he can't be pissed at him through the logic of WWE.
Right. I mean, I get that, but I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, maybe they're setting up for a Big Show heel turn.
I guess. But anyways, Mark comes back to the ring, and he's like, "Hey, think it's easy to become champion? I wasn't champion for a little long time." And Brian looks at him and goes, "Well, I don't really care.
Yeah,
If you're champion, I'm probably going to beat you." And then Mark tells him, "Well, I guess it's cool. I mean, you have gusto and all. It's too bad I'm going to beat you."
Yeah, you have guts. Shame I'm gonna have to rip those guts all over the ring.
Yeah. Just a note, AJ looks so skinny.
Yeah, she.
There's like nothing to her, and the thing is, I don't think she's necessarily like unhealthy. That's just her body type.
Oh.
Yeah,
she's just one of those skinny as a real people. Yeah, she's one of those skinny as a real girls, but then she decided to get ripped.
I have no problem with this, to be honest.
I'm not. No, I mean, she wants to be there, which is something that doesn't seem to be prevalent with a lot of them. They just look at this as a paycheck. I mean, the Bella Twins and people like Hornswoggle have to have the greatest job on the planet.
Yeah.
We do virtually nothing, and sometimes we have to go in the ring and take basic bumps.
Oh.
So. Oh, go ahead.
I fell on my back once today, but it's okay.
I came to play.
So, Ezekiel Jackson video package.
Weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah, well,
But I don't understand, and maybe one of you guys can explain this to me. Are they implying that he's a face? Because they brought up that he was a family man, but then they also brought up that other people's suffering is his satisfaction. So I don't really know what they're going for.
He's a face.
Tweener, I guess?
He's a face because that's what he became after he left the Corps, and then he got over with his body slams, and then he's not been on TV for like a month and a half.
I'm gonna go with Tweener here, just because.
So, T. Long is in the office of C. Robinson. T tells C...
No, Charles Robinson's in Teddy Long's office because there's a picture of Martin Luther King Jr., that's how you know.
Whatever.
Why would Charles Robinson
T tells C that he's doing a fine job, and that he's going to be reffing, and that C's going to be reffing the U's match.
Lil Nate.
C leaves, and then all of a sudden the lights go down, and saxophones start playing. I don't know what that means.
Oksana's gimmick.
Oksana is pretty much Teddy Long's whore now.
She's seducing Teddy Long for some reason. We don't know yet. So she can get on TV, I guess, is the presumption. But there's not much in this development yet.
A asks T if he saw the Halloween Battle Royal. Then T tells A that the first time on SmackDown should be special. And A says that she wants the first time to be special. It's a sexual thing.
You're joking.
Really?
My God.
I don't get it.
First time what? Being on SmackDown? Yes, that should be really special.
T tells A that...
You're going to keep referring to them with just single letters?
Seriously?
Yeah, and it's going to get even more confusing given who's coming up next.
T tells A...
And he keeps going.
Don't ruin what I'm doing.
Ruin.
T tells A that A needs to get some seasoning. And then T has another A come in to help the other A.
A Fox. Ha ha.
You call her R, I'm going to kill you.
Ha ha! Oh my God, it's Rihanna!
Jesus. Yeah, but Alicia Fox does not look like Rihanna. I think I said it before. She looks more like Ed from Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, well, you have to realize that Oksana is from Eastern Europe. I want to say, like, Estonia or something like that. Lithuania, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And you know, all black people look the same.
Especially if
I mean,
Well,
no lead can
I
confirm
honestly, now thinking about it, in the face, she kind of, sort of resembles Rihanna, but not really. Not so much that you could actually get her confused with
Well,
the real.
also, we have to remember that Oksana is the person who confused Dusty Rhodes in a blonde, permed wig or like in a Dee Snider of Twisted Sister cross-dressing wig.
Well, that is
great.
what Dee Snider looks like.
Yes, I know, but that was like his type of hair wig. I guess it was getting a little too specific, but yes,
So-
she used Dusty Rhodes in a wig for her aunt, and then they took the $1 million belt.
Yep.
So A kisses T, and then A asks A if she can teach her some positions. It's a lesbian thing.
Or it's just another sexual joke in general. Anyway, my point is, Oksana has terrible vision.
Or is it complete?
T looks at A's ass as she leaves. Cut to commercial.
And Teddy Long, it was creepy because he was perfectly frozen. Like, the camera kind of revolved around him a little, but he was just a statue until Alicia Fox snapped her fingers and brought him out of the trance of Oksana's ass.
So he was stiff, you're saying?
Correct.
Oh.
Very.
Hey now. Ted DiBiase versus Jinder Mahal. Someone, quick, stab me in the thigh.
The DiBiase posse.
Yeah. We're open for a YouTube show out of that.
Anyways, yeah, Ted DiBiase wins. Cut to commercial. Mark Henry versus Daniel Bryan. Hey, guess who wins?
Jesus.
Mark Henry.
Yep. So Mark Henry starts beating up on Bryan after the match is over. Oh, I guess we should talk about the match. It wasn't all that great.
Yeah.
It had its moments.
It had, I guess.
Daniel Bryan managed to lock in the bell lock at one point then. But unfortunately, Mark Henry is, in fact, the world's strongest man in kayfabe.
Woohoo.
And, well...
I think I remember something now. I do remember something. Michael Cole saying that Mark Henry looks angry. Which I remember saying, like, Mark Henry always looks angry. Or like he wants a big sack of flapjacks. It's fat.
Thanks, Scott. I never would have guessed that,
If you can't tell, this show is being incredibly boring right now. Not this show, SmackDown.
Yes, we are the pinnacle of entertainment.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're
You
freaking
cover
awesome.
Every single.
Love me!
I can't even put the proper amount of energy I should into this. I don't know why. Because normally even mediocre shows can get at least the littlest amount of energy out of me.
I mean, about the only thing I really liked about the match is that Daniel Bryan never really gave up. He was the quintessential babyface here, which was
The
great.
underdog.
Yeah, but you know, let's not call him that because we might confuse him for Rey Mysterio.
That's that joke next that he stuck with Rey Mysterio's old gimmick.
Oh, you know, when he ran around in WCW without a mask.
Oh yeah. He
He
looks like a 10-year-old. Kurt Angle wants to play with him.
So, anyways, Big Show versus 3 jobbers.
Hey, one of these men was Tom LaRufa, the French Stallion.
Yeah,
Of
Big
course
Show
he was the
versus
one
3
who-
jobbers.
Of course, he was the one who looked like the biggest pussy by running away.
Winner.
But he was
Big
told
Show.
to do that.
Well, he's French, so
Yeah, you can't hold that against him.
Okay, if you've ever... Okay, go out there and find Lance Storm's World of Hurt. This man is the greatest wrestling character, possibly of all time. He is hilarious.
Winner, Big Show.
Well, obviously.
Why? Divas match. Tamina versus with Rosa Mendez versus Alicia Fox, and for some reason, the that called her Alicia the Howling Fox.
Did the ring announcer say that?
And Backlash is still very much offended that Alicia is wearing one of her relatives. One of his relatives.
Probably not even real. Come on. Like,
You know, why did they call her that? Never mind.
Because because her real name is Dirba.
What?
Then she's called the Howling.
Ugh. Alright.
But Tish, I don't know.
Yeah. So, Tamina and Alicia have some back and forth. Yeah.
Natalie's on commentary.
Yeah.
She
Probably
wasn't
only
there.
positive so far of this.
Alicia Fox wins. It was the Divas match.
It was a Divas with a jobber imprint.
Yeah.
I'm
And
hoping.
for some reason, Rosa Mendez was out there.
Yeah, she just showed up.
She's allegedly friends with Tamina.
Sheamus is being interviewed by Matt Striker.
Woo, woo,
woo. He says that you have a tendency to be a hothead. And Sheamus says, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a nice guy. And, yeah. And this was news to me, what followed afterwards. Apparently he presented an award to Justin Bieber at the MTV Europe Awards show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised Bieber actually showed up to those.
And they gave Best Male to Justin Bieber. I don't know why he was even nominated, but
Because he might be the father of an illegitimate child.
Guys, two things. This doesn't matter because, one, it's MTV, and two, it's MTV Europe.
Yeah.
That's true.
Interrupting again.
The only time MTV Europe was relevant was when Metallica played So What and Last Caress live on TV after they told them not to swear. That was about it.
They're like a modern day The Doors.
Exactly.
Sheamus stares Matt down, cut to commercial.
And then we get
Epico
with Primo.
and
We
Primo.
found something to do.
yeah,
He has a
Primo's
job?
actually doing something now.
Yeah, he still has a job. Versus
Oh.
the Usos. Interesting thing to really note here was that Primo and Epico, or Orlando Colon, or Tito, as he's been going in FCW, was actually involved in a sort of major stable down there, the Ascension. Not really important, but yeah, it was interesting to note that they actually, like, I was wondering if they were going to mention that they looked kind of similar, especially in the face. They actually mentioned that they were actually cousins, which I thought was interesting enough, because I didn't really think they'd acknowledge that, especially after
I think they
Carlito.
would.
This show is still going on.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Winners: Epico y Único.
Because the Usos really don't have characters established.
Yeah. Last match of the night, thank God in heaven. Randy Orton and Wade Barrett in a captain versus captain match.
This match happened.
They're winning at SummerSlam.
I smell a sitcom.
You know, I didn't think this match was that bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It happened, is what it
wasn't
was.
atrocious. It just wasn't. It was a TV match.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was a TV match that knew damn well it was a TV match.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thought it was okay for what it was, and when I say thank God, I just meant, like, this match has been so boring, and, like, the show's finally over, and at least it was somewhat of a payoff for having to sit through all the previous bullshit. And yeah.
Sadly, we got our finish of Barrett putting an old boxing trick of thumbing the opponent in the eye, and then he rolled him off.
Yeah, he thumbed Orton in the eye and rolled him up.
Which the thing is, this isn't even illegal in professional wrestling. Raking the eyes and eye gouging has pretty much been legal especially WWE, pretty much forever. Granted, it's early
it's a gray area.
But
it's definitely one of those the ref doesn't encourage it, but he's not going to throw the match out because someone did it.
Well, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
just a regular old dirty move.
It was an intentional poke in the eye, and it's kind of hard to tell him that it was intentional. And then the thing is, Booker T is just going on like, this is the worst crime of humanity that he's ever seen.
Oh, dude.
What he should remember was that he was part of the War Games 2000 in WCW 2000, where Vince Russo was in the War Games, and for some reason there was more people than necessary in said match, and Kevin Nash won. For no reason.
I honestly, you could have just left it at Booker T was in a War Games match in WCW.
War Games 2000! In the triple-tiered cage, mind you.
You could have just left it at that, and you wouldn't have even needed to clarify what you just said. That's all you had to say, and people would have just agreed with you.
Okay.
I could go on about that match for longer than the match existed.
Wade Barrett wins, we cut to credits. SmackDown?
Credits. No credits on that.
It sucked. This week was just
Good God in heaven.
I couldn't even really pay attention to it. It just...
I'll give SmackDown this. As boring as it may be, it normally provides fairly decent wrestling, if not very good wrestling. Jesus. I was dying throughout watching the show. And because I missed it last night, I had to watch Raw and then SmackDown back to back. So I got no time in between to filter crap out.
You're the man now, dog.
Well,
just broke that out.
Yeah, even I can't really hold this as being good. This was meh. Very
still
boring.
Better than whatever Raw and TNA had to offer, and that's saying a lot.
It's like they got some ideas to get them into Survivor Series, but they're not really confident.
I wouldn't even say that about... At least Raw, there was something I could remember about it. It may have been crap, but at least it was memorable.
What did you not remember about SmackDown?
Pretty much, I found it to be very much a boring ride the whole time. It was just like, nah.
No, I mean, I remembered most of it.
You get my point. Nothing really sticks out.
You weren't too involved in it. I mean, neither. Yeah. I mean, personally, I could say I wasn't too involved in either. And SmackDown has been like the best show on, wrestling related, nationally syndicated.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot considering people usually point to Raw, being that it's live, anything can happen. But that has not, I mean, granted, it wasn't the case this week, but it's sucked either way. Raw has been just god awful. And also, Cody Rhodes was not on the show.
Huh. Yeah, Cody Rhodes was mysteriously MIA.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Maybe he did get a concussion from that street fight last week or something.
Well, yeah, maybe it's because the mask is cracked. They're kind of going for a kayfabe thing.
Yeah, that's probably a plot point as well.
Yeah.
And plus, Orton took the mask with him.
Yeah, so he's probably finding a new mask.
He's going to come out dressed as La Parka. DDP.
Please, for the love of God. It would be so awesome.
Skull Captain in the house!
You know what? No, I want to see Cody Rhodes as a Shockmaster.
If he would just walk out in like this really bad store-bought Jason Voorhees mask because he couldn't find his actual mask. And like, he doesn't come out dressed like Jason Voorhees, just the mask. And like, that would be awesome.
I want the Shockmaster, man.
I don't care what you want.
Shockmaster. Bring me back the Shockmaster.
You know what? We're in a feud, so I shouldn't care either. But what do you want? But yeah, let's finish this off with a game of what gets more screen time than who to pick? Michael McGillicuddy?
We want Michael McGillicuddy on TV?
Okay, never mind. What gets more screen time than
Goldust?
Goldust?
He's injured though.
Yeah, he's
right. Let's just go with the typical Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder got screen time.
He was in the main fucking event.
I don't care.
No, you can't go with the typical if the typical is in a main event. What gets more screen time than Goldust? Go.
my general apathy towards WWE and my hate towards everyone in this room right now gets more screen time than Goldust.
That was mean.
Pedo Nash gets more screen time than Goldust.
AJ's xylophone gets more screen time than Goldust.
What? You mean
Saxophone. Oh, wait. Is AJ
her
a xylophone?
Oksana, or are you talking about her
Yeah.
ribs exposed?
Yeah.
And that. Okay.
Oh.
All right. I ruined the joke. My apologies. Slightly confusing.
I did too, so.
Does anyone else feel like this entire episode's just like fuck?
Yes, I do. I felt that since about halfway through Raw.
Yeah, I just...
Okay, Arrow, you said yours?
Mine is David Otunga slurping on his coffee.
Oh,
There.
God.
That gets more screen time than Goldust.
The
This
first
has been
couple of
DarkMatch.
times I didn't notice it, but now it's ugh.
Dark match. Good night. Good luck. Go away.
Get the fuck
You need
out.
to cheer the fuck up, War Machine.
Turn that throne upside down.
I'm
Exactly.
Matt Striker free. See you later.
Survivor Series coming up soon. See you then.
Brother.
Right before Stanley climaxed, he pulled back, yanked the severed head off of his cock, and bukkakied my neighbor's face, covering him in a deluge of honey badger semen and pit bull blood and tears. It was the most amazing goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life.